Bradley Wiggins is doing the press circuit at the moment, promoting his new autobiography, The Chain. And as part of that campaign, he did a very candid interview with The Times, in which he accused Team Sky of chucking him under the bus to protect someone else in relation to doping allegations he faced as a rider. The interviewer asked him, "Do you have your suspicions about who they're protecting?" To which he replied, "Yes, it'll come out."
Ooh.
Very ominous. Yeah, Wiggins faced a lot of heat as a rider over the infamous Jiffy Gate scandal. If you didn't know, this was an incident where a Jiffy bag was allegedly given to a Team Sky doctor for Wiggins at the 2011 Criterium de Dauphiné. The contents of that bag and whether or not it contained a legal decongestant for his hay fever or a banned drug became the subject of a UK anti-doping investigation and a parliamentary inquiry, but a definitive answer was never really found. A report by the House of Commons Culture, Media and Sport Committee also raised ethical concerns over the team's and Wiggins' use of therapeutic use exemptions, which is basically where an athlete is told they're allowed to use a banned substance to treat a genuine medical condition. The report came after a hacking group published info showing a banned steroid commonly used to treat asthma had been obtained on 3 occasions for Wiggins by Sky ahead of the 2011 and 2012 Tour de France and the 2013 Giro d'Italia. The committee report wrote, "We believe drugs were being used by Team Sky within WADA rules to enhance the performance of riders and not just to treat medical need. But Team Sky has always strongly refuted that claim."
Within WADA rules?
Well, yes, because it was the therapeutic use exemption. So they weren't breaking WADA rules, but it was whether they were whether they'd found a loophole and they were exploiting it. Ultimately, that was the subject of the inquiry.
I feel like this is one of those news stories where we can't really say much because if we do, we could get in big trouble.
Yeah, I know. I was reading the comments from last week because you were asking people about, what they thought of the Garmin ad and stuff like that. And people were saying, I don't like that you guys censor yourselves now. The thing is, right, we're in the UK and they have such stringent libel and defamation rules in the UK. I was listening to another podcast this morning which was talking about this is really a tangent, but Kendrick Lamar versus Drake, that his diss track where he literally calls Drake a paedophile. Am I allowed to say the word paedophile on this? I don't know.
Yeah, of course you can.
He literally calls him that, and Drake tried to sue him for defamation, and the judge has thrown the court case out this morning, and that's what happens if you live in America. But here in the UK, it doesn't go down like that. So unfortunately, we do have to be careful what we say. Anyway, what I can tell you is Wiggins has previously said that he felt that the lack of clarity from those that he says should have had the answers to that situation caused lots of stress for his family. And it feels to me like the same thing is happening again with this David Rosman stuff. So David Brailsford and the staff refused to answer reporters' questions. Questions I would say are legitimate, as in, what was meant by those texts. And as a result, it's getting deflected onto riders. So, for example, we saw during the tour, Tyrone Arensman won 2 stages. And then in the press conference, that's all he was asked about, despite the fact he was never there. He was a kid when it happened. But because it hasn't been addressed, it's pushed onto him. Geraint Thomas is also currently doing the press rounds at the moment. He's fresh into retirement, promoting his new book as well, according to G. So lots of Christmas presents, stocking fillers, I would say, this year. Yeah, he did an interview with The Guardian this week, and the conversation very quickly veered into asking about Rosman as well. He wasn't there in the 2012 tour, which is kind of around the time these texts were sent. But again, he's having to answer questions as well.
He would have been in the team, though, in 2012.
He would have, yes.
Yeah, just not at the tour.
Correct, yeah. Wiggins' book, going back to it, he has been incredibly candid about his personal struggles. He has been for a while now, hasn't he? He was sexually assaulted by a cycling coach as a youth, and after retiring, he has battled with drug abuse as well as bankruptcy and temporary homelessness. And he said that this book is part of an apology and accountability phase of Narcotics Anonymous. And he's been very open about, some of his lowest points, including snorting cocaine off his Olympic gold medal and smashing his Sports Personality of the Year trophy and his knighthood in front of his kids, which is really sad.
It is, isn't it?
The whole thing is very sad. I mean, I suppose I can understand in some way why it would be a phase of Narcotics Anonymous. I can't get past the fact that I don't think he's the sort of person that should be in the public eye. and keeps putting himself in it because I assume he's very in debt and needs money. And it's just a horrible cycle of, well, there's going to be, it just brings back all of the hate comments and the attention. And I just don't think it's a good cycle to be in.
But at the same time, you know, maybe he doesn't want to be in the public eye, but when you're so high profile as a sportsman, you know, he doesn't have a choice. The reason the Times are doing an interview with him, the reason the Guardian are asking questions is because Team Sky, especially in this country, and the legacy of the 2012 Olympics was huge. You know, in this country, those people are bigger than cycling. People would know who Bradley Wiggins is.
Yeah.
Without being cyclists, and therefore the tabloids know who he is. Therefore, with whether he wants it or not, his bankruptcy and the horrible personal struggles that he's gone through become a public story whether he wants it or not. So at least this is his chance to own his own narrative and make a bit of money out of it. I mean, I don't begrudge him that, definitely not. And it sounds like he is at a turning point now. You know, he's starting to turn his life around. He's saying he's got more work than he has time for. He's clearly going through the process of, he's clean, he's not drinking, he's going through the process of his accountability with his Narcotics Anonymous. So hopefully this is just up and up for him, I think.
Yeah, massively.